Hello and welcome to Cole's Backyard Coop Adventures. Today I wanted to show you how to set up an easy brooder for new chicks that you may be purchasing, or in my case, I have eggs that will be hatching later this weekend. So what we have here is I took a tote from Walmart. It's one of their extra large totes because I like for the chicks to have a lot of room to move around. One thing that's important is that you have lengthwise enough room for them to get out from under the light when they feel too warm. And then on this side, we'll put the food and the water where they can feed, and they still have enough room to kind of run around and start to get their strength and have fun. So the extra large tote is also clear. You could see through it, which I like that as well. So look for the longer tote that you can see through. I find that to be helpful when you want to look at the chicks from the side. What I've put in the bottom is, I'll show you, I've put newspaper, lined the bottom with newspaper. I use tape to tack it down underneath. I roll the tape and tack it down. And then I put about 2 inches of the finer type of shavings. It's not the large flake, it's called small flake. And for chicks, that's good because, they're small, their little feet are small, and that's going to give them the opportunity to be able to get their footing a little better when they're learning to walk around on the fine shaving than the real large flake shaving. Like that's an example of a large flake shaving that just kind of works its way in there. But the fine shavings is what you'll want to look for. Okay, and then what I use is I went into the garage and I got a couple of small pieces of wood that I had my husband cut. And this is what I'm going to set their food and water on. So what I do is I'll set it, and it's smooth wood. They can't hurt themselves on it. I set it lengthwise like that. And then you'll get a water container. You can get that at your local feed store. You could order it online. It's empty right now, but it's clean and ready to go. Make sure you've sanitized it very well for new chicks. And then I will use another small piece of wood because you want the food and water dish to sit on something flat. And plus it gives the chicks the opportunity to get up on top of here to feed and drink. And that way their little footing also helps. And the feed and water dish won't fall over because they're sitting on something firm. And then the food dish, you can also get from, and usually I'll spread it out a little farther so that they have room to walk in between if they want to. And there you have your feed and your water dish. Easy. Okay, so now I've installed a clamp style light, and I'm using the tab that normally would hold the lid of the tub. I've clamped it onto there, which is just the right height for them to get up underneath it. Now you could set it out to go like that, but you want it so that they can get up underneath here. And I only use a 40-watt bulb so that it's not too hot. And they get up underneath there and will keep warm. But then if they're too warm, they'll come out over here and be able to get out from and back of the light. Now I also have one of the red infrared lights that you see used in videos and they sell at feed stores. That I would use more out in a coop, a larger environment. This tub, those infrared lights are pretty strong. The heat that comes off of those is very strong. So you wouldn't want to use that in a small tub like this because you would run the risk of really burning the chicks, burning the tub itself, and creating a fire type hazard. So using a small clamp light like this, Home Depot, and a 40-watt bulb is sufficient. I've used it many times over and it works perfect. Then what I do is underneath the tub, I put a heating pad for nighttime. At night, I turn this off, and the heating pad from underneath If it's a cold night, which right now we're in May, it's not really cold at night, I put it on a medium setting, and it's not going to catch fire or anything. It's on a surface here, which in this case I'm using our treadmill as the place to set the tub and the chick brooder. Not that we don't use our treadmill, we do, but for the moment, that's where it's going to set because it sets it off the carpets, which is good. And at night, with the heating pad underneath the tub on a medium setting, I put the lid on top, and I simply crack the lid enough for a little ventilation, but it holds the heat in to keep them warm. See, so they have just enough ventilation, and it's keeping the heat from the heating pad in. So if you were to, like when I rub my hand underneath the shavings, which over time they're going to dig through the shavings and make a mess, but they can sleep and you can feel the heat, and that's good for them. It'll, not to mention they're going to dogpile on top of each other, but that's going to give them enough heat to keep warm at night because they're babies, they're brand new. So for the first week or two, they need that extra heat, and really up to a month until that feathering starts coming in really good. So that's what I do at night. In the morning, I get up, heating pad goes off, and this light goes on. And then that stays on all day long. And then I refresh the water and the feed as needed. I make sure to keep the water particularly very clean through here because you don't want them drinking dirty water. And then I also put a vitamin supplement in the water. It's called Nutri-Drench. I get that at the local feed store. And you'll want to get Start and Grow by Purina is what I use. They sell it in organic too, which I like to use. And then a supplement in the water to start giving them something extra from the start. Then your pine shavings, get your tub, and make sure you have a place that's out of high traffic. And I use this room as my brooding room for a couple of weeks, 3 to 4 weeks actually, until they're old enough to go out into the coop. And then if the nights are cool, I will use the red infrared light, brooding light for them at night if it's still cool at night. So typically the nighttime temperatures are 70 or above. We are in Florida here, so that's warm enough for them. That's not cold at all. If it was in the 50s, then that's different. I would run the light, but I play it by ear and see. And then you're ready to go. This is a perfect little environment for your brand new chicks, for them to grow. They're confined, they're safe, they have good food and water available to them, they have a heat source available to them, and it's easier for you to monitor them, making sure that they're healthy, that there's no dirty butts. You want to watch for that and address that accordingly. If you see a little pasty, dirty butt, then you want to make sure to address that. Once the chicks are born and I get them in here, we'll do a video on that, but that would be a separate video. So this is just showing you how to set up a brooder. If you're new to setting up a brooder and you're getting your chicks for the first time, they're either coming from a feed store, or if you're like me, you're hatching them out yourself, this is what you want to do a few days in advance. I'm on day 17 with the eggs. So tomorrow I'm going to put them in lockdown, which I'll do a separate video on that. And then once they hatch, I've already got this ready to go. And I'm really excited to watch them hatch, which I'll do a video on that as well. I think we've covered all the bases here. If you think of any additional questions that you would want to ask, feel free in the comment section. Ask questions, leave comments. Like the video if you liked it. Hopefully it gave you some good information for your new chicks, giving them a simple environment. It's inexpensive, but it works effectively for the first few weeks of your chick's life. Then while they're in here, you can start preparing for the outdoors, getting a little coop and all of those necessities that you're going to need out there for them, making sure it's a safe environment, clean and predator proof and all of that. So You can get a coop idea from mine that we did our backyard coop. So we're urban chicken keepers. So if you are as well, then you would do this kind of like I'm doing it. So for the moment, I'll leave you with that. And from Cole's Backyard Coop, happy chicken keeping. And if you're getting new chicks, enjoy them as much as we do. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.